I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
You know they're not sending their best and their finest. You do know that, right?
No, it's the worst.
The best and the finest, they're not stupid, believe me. They're keeping their good. But the ones we're getting are the drug lords, we're getting the gang members, we're getting some people that are fine. But we're not getting the best and the finest from South America, believe me.
Donald Trump's defended wanting immigrants from, quote, nice countries like Denmark and Switzerland.
The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals.
For me, this started all in 2016. I started realizing like the effects certain things could have on my family, and as a daughter of immigrant parents and having immigrant siblings, it made me very scared, and I knew that others were experiencing the same or were facing much worse things because of their status, and that made me want to get involved in immigration advocacy, and I got involved in a group in my community which advocate for immigrants and DACA recipients, and from there that's where my passion started.
We must come to see migrants not as problems, not as threats or statistics, but as neighbors, and that's my thrust, to see these people, that they have a human dignity that is not given to them by the state. It's a God-given dignity. We're born, it's in our DNA, our dignity as human beings. And it's being stripped of these people just because they're poor or displaced. But we should see them as members of our community, as our neighbors. And because we all belong to a community, the community of the human race, and when one suffers, everybody suffers. That is why we can't just go ahead with business as usual. We can't just look the other way. It has to be our problem. So how can we change the narrative? There are 3 suggestions that I would give. First of all, we need a conversion of heart. We need to choose to see the other as a human being like myself, rather than see them through the lens of fear. And second, by listening to their stories. These are people with real stories, stories of courage and resilience and faith. Migrants are not faceless. We tend to see them as faceless. There are parents sacrificing for their children, young people eager to learn and contribute, and these are the people that I see, that I work with, families longing for peace. These stories reveal migrants not as strangers, but as people who share the same hopes and dreams that we all share.
En San Miguel Allende, Guanajuato, México. Nací ahí y tuve un hijo. Cuando me vine para acá tenía 5 años.
I was 7 years old when I crossed the border. There was like 20 people, and I was the youngest one. I remember it was one guy that make the immigration chase him, so we can go to the motel, go inside. So they said you gotta bring to my aunt to pick me up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and that's what she did. And we went, got the train tickets from San Isidro to San Diego. But I miss my country. Is San Miguel Allende, Guanajuato.
Dígame, va a costar $2,000 a 5.
¿Qué hay que comer, papi? ¿Tienes hambre?
¿Ah? No.
¿Te comiste medio pollo, pues?
¿Ah?
¿Te comiste medio pollo?
Dos hilachitas que me
The immigration issue is first and foremost, as we said, a humanitarian issue. because in spite of all the political overtones, we cannot be silent because these are people just like ourselves. And the only reason we're not in that position is because of some good fortune, that things outside of our control. We were born in a different place in different circumstances. It might very well be us at the border.
Going to their meetings, seeing them bring in lawyers that would talk to our community and give us updates, and seeing how the lawyer kind of like alleviated my fear and fear of the community made me want to get into that as well, because I want to be able to serve my community and my people.
So the person on the border, the refugee at your door, the migrant, that could have been you or me. That is why we have a moral obligation to stand up for them and to, when we hear the negative rhetoric, to correct it, because these are people just like you and me. So I think I'll stop there now. Are there any questions? Any questions, any comments?